you get that drink.
Welcome back to the Queen's Yanks channel. I appreciate everybody coming back and spending a couple of minutes of your day with us. So as the video says, we're going to be looking back at 2015 and why that was the year that Everton died. And what I mean by that is that's the year that started a downfall, and we shouldn't really be surprised that Everton's in the spot that they're in. At the time of recording this video, they are in 17th place, just 5 points above last place. Although they have a couple of games in hand, it's not looking too good, and it's going to be a fight to the finish to see if they actually are able to stay up or get relegated for the first time ever. So that said, we'll go ahead and get right into the video. But before we get into it, please like this video, please subscribe to this channel. Comment if you agree with my reasons. If you have anything to add to it, please by all means comment and let me know. I love conversing with people from other fan bases, so hey, I'd love to see or hear your opinion too. So I can point this to three main reasons. Now granted, there's layers to these three reasons, but the first of all, it's just too many managers. And I'll get into the 2015 year in a second, but too many managers. They've had 11 managers since Moyes left in 2012-13, and 7 of them have been permanent managers. Of course, there's been the caretaker Dunk for a few times, but so some of them have been repeat. But nonetheless, I mean, that's since 2013. What is that? 9 years. You've had 11 different managers. That's insane. How can anybody have a chance to get their system in place, get their players in place when you've had 11 managers in 9 years? It's ridiculous. And some of them have been there for a few years, so we've had multiple managers. I believe one year they had 3 managers. But nonetheless, it's too many managers, and in my opinion, 2015, as the title of this video says, is when Everton died. And what I mean by that is Roberto Martinez. Say what you want about him. I know he annoyed a lot of people, and I know a lot of fans wanted him gone, but was it really the right choice? In his 3 years at Everton, their average finish in the Premier League was 9th place. Every year since he left, their average finish has been 9th place, and that's not factoring in this year. Once you factor in this year, it's obviously below 9th place. So they have been worse gradually since Roberto Martinez left. And yeah, he brought in he made some strange decisions, and I'll get into that a little bit in a minute too. But Roberto Martinez was the right guy for the job, and I think he should have had more time, and I think Everton would be in a better place had they not made the rash decision to let him go. But nonetheless, point still bearing that too many managers, not enough time for them. Although granted, letting some of these guys go was the right choice. Some of them wasn't necessarily Everton's choice, but nonetheless, point still stands. Point number 2, focusing on the wrong group of players. And what I mean by that is when Roberto was there, you had young guys coming up like Amendola Lookman or Tom Davies, and Davies has just become just another guy. You brought in players that had, maybe name like Morgan Schneiderlin, and I can't think of the guy's name, the older goalkeeper. But there's just been no real plan with the players that they're bringing in. It seems like for a while they were just buying players just for the sake of buying players. And hold on to that thought for a minute, and I'll get into that in a minute. But nonetheless, focusing on the wrong group of players, not focusing on the core, not understanding that Everton at this point in time needs to rely on their youth system. Bring up these guys like Tom Davies and Lookman. I guess develop them the right way, develop them the Everton way instead of just buying guys and bringing them in. And they're also relying on age a little bit too much. You've got guys that are aging, like Seamus Coleman, and even to an extent back in the day, you had Phil Jailka. So focusing on the wrong group of players. I mean, even Tim Howard, for example, when they let him go, granted, I'm not disagreeing that they shouldn't have let him go because he was way past his prime at that time, but who was your replacement? It was Joel Robles, and what did he do? Not a lot. And granted, I know it eventually led to Jordan Pickford, but say what you want about his performance at the club level, but it just doesn't make any sense to me why, some of the roster moves and some of the decisions that they've made. Even back when Roberto was there, again, not that I'm, trying to focus on him too much, but I do think that nothing's really happened since he left. You had guys like Mohamed Basic, Funes Mori, Deulofeu, the other Belgium striker, I can't think of his name right now, that used to play with Lecoq, Kevin Morales. Granted, you could argue that these guys weren't quite at the EPL level, and that's an argument to be made, and I understand. But they were role players. They knew exactly what they had to do. They knew their role. They fit the team perfect, in my opinion, and the style that Roberto was trying to play. So instead of giving guys like this, their due, they let them go and brought in guys that just frankly were just names. And I think that's also where they went wrong at. So at this point, we've got two points, one of which being too many managers, two of which being too many players, frankly, and the wrong type of players. And my last point being that the owners do not understand. They are not Liverpool. They're not Man City. You're buying all these players, and for what? For what reason? And what results do you have? You're letting managers go, and for what reason? I mean, Martinez went on to darn near win the World Cup. He's the manager of Belgium, and obviously quite successful. I believe he's their all-time wins leader at this point. Now, granted, he was gifted a hell of a team, but still, nonetheless, he clearly shows that his system can play with the right players, and they had an opportunity to build something in Everton, and I think that opportunity is obviously gone now. You're going to have to start from scratch. I don't think being relegated is the worst thing that could happen to Everton. I believe that would give them the opportunity to reset and possibly, come up the right way again, I guess. I mean, I know Everton fans don't want to hear that. I mean, I believe they've got a new stadium in the works. I mean, obviously this is the last thing you want, but is it really the worst thing that could happen? I don't know. So there's my 3 reasons why Everton is in the spot that they're in and why we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, you've got owners who tried to build it like Man City and not understanding that they're not. You've got players who just don't fit and are just sort of random plug-in players that I don't understand. And just, frankly, too many managers and not enough time for these guys. And this all started in 2015, in my opinion. Now, granted, Martinez left in 2016, but at that point, he knew he was on the chopping block. Why would he put in all his effort when he knew he was probably going to be gone at the end of the year anyway? So which ones do you agree with? Which ones don't you agree with? Do you have any other opinions to add to this? Let me know. Drop in the comments. Hope everybody's having a good day. This was just a quick video, and I had to get it off my chest because it was something that was on my mind. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. Peace out, guys.